So this is lesson 3, problem set in Algebra 2. If you look at the practice problems, A, B, and C, they have the first two you're just evaluating, so you're just plugging numbers in, and remember to use the parentheses around your numbers. So whenever you substitute something in for x, put it in parentheses. So I'm just going to show you B as far as how to set that up, just to remind you, because I get really annoyed when you don't do this, because this will save you from getting the wrong answer. So x equals 2, y equals -3. So every time we see an x, we're going to put a parenthesis, and we're going to put whatever x equals. We have a y, we're going to put whatever y equals. Minus, we're going to put the big parenthesis, and I'm going to put the minus, and then I'm going to make a little parenthesis for the x, and instead of an x there, I'm going to put a 2, and the y is going to be a -3 plus, and again parenthesis, and then big parenthesis here. Now you're going to go ahead and solve it, and to me this just makes it so much easier, because you can multiply these and then tag the negative right there onto it. Then you can, which you're going to get -6, right? And then you're going to have a minus there, and then big parenthesis, plus -3, big parenthesis. Now I can say, oh, my two negatives give me a positive. And then I can add these two together, and that would take care of this part here. And then I do this section here, and I'm good to go. So, shouldn't give you a whole lot of problems, but you're going to have to really be careful on your signs and making sure everything works, because when you get to number 6 through 12, you're going to have a lot of those same ones. So let's look at 6, because that's got an absolute value sign. And they're telling us that x is -2 and y is -3. So, -2 minus the absolute value of -2, -3 squared minus -2 times -3. So again, all those parentheses, but I'm going to focus primarily on what to do with that. So we have a negative absolute value of -2. So what is the absolute value of -2? Absolute value of any number is going to be its positive. So we're going to put a 2 there, and that takes away the absolute value signs, but this negative here needs to stay on there. So this negative is this one right there. That's outside the absolute value sign, so it doesn't go away. Alright, and then you should be fine. You know, make sure when you multiply this you get a +9, etc. And when we get into some like 13 through, 16, we're adding like terms. So let's go ahead and do 16. We have 2xy squared m minus 3x squared y squared m to the 4th. And we're going to put that over m cubed x plus 2x squared y m cubed over mx squared. Alright, notice these are not like terms, because this has an mx and this does, but this has an m of 1, this has an m of 3, this has an x of 1, that has an x of 2, so you cannot combine those. But what we can do is we can look within each of the terms and see if we can reduce anything. Alright, because look what we've got here. We've got an x squared on top and an x down here. We've got an m to the 4th here and an m cubed here. So we can reduce this because we have m's on the top and bottom and x's on the top and bottom. We have the same here. We have x's on the top and bottom and m's on the top and bottom. So we can start simplifying each one of these terms. So let's just look at this term right here, right now. Alright, so we have an m on the top and an m on the bottom. We have 4 m's on top and we have 3 on the bottom. So that means we have 3 here and 3 here plus 1. So we're going to take the 3 that we have here and make them go away. And this is just a simplified way of just canceling. So we're going to cancel those 3, and we're going to cancel 3 of the 4 of these, which means we're left with 1. We're going to do the same with x. We have 1x down here, and we have 2 up there. So let's get rid of the 1x here, and let's get rid of one of these x's here. And that's left with 1. So now we have negative 3xy squared m on top. And down on the bottom, we got rid of everything. So let's go ahead and put my 2xy squared m there. So let's do the same thing over here. Well, I have 2x's here and 2x's here. Any number over itself is 1. So these 2 and these 2 can go away. So we'll get rid of those and those. They just disappear. And we look at our m's. We have 1 m here and we have 3 here. So let's take this 1 and make it go away, and let's get rid of one of these m's. So we'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of one of these, and we're left with 2. And so now we have 2y m squared, and notice all that went away. We got rid of all of our fractions then just by looking at each individual term and then canceling. Now can we bring anything together? Well, let's see if we have any like terms. This term here has an x, that has an x, that doesn't. So that one's all by itself. These two are still in play. We have a y squared here, and a y squared here, an m here, and an m here. Alright, so these are like terms. I can combine these. So I'm going to make this a plus negative. So then all I have to do is take the difference between the two, which is 1. Sign of the largest is negative, and x, y squared m. Okay, plus 2ym squared. And that is as simplified as I can go for negative 16. So hopefully that little trick will help you on 13 through 16, and really for the rest of your life. You just look at each individual term and see if you can simplify by canceling stuff on the top and the bottom, so that it makes it easier for you to do. So that is the problem set for lesson 3.